Hi, this is your host. We're looking at an image that appears to show a UFO in the sky. But what's really interesting about this image is the fact that it was taken back in 1947, and yet the way that it looks is almost identical to images that we've seen in more recent years. So could this be evidence of extraterrestrial life? Or is there another explanation for what we're seeing here? On June 24, 1947, a man named Kenneth Arnold was flying his single-engine plane over Mount Rainier when he spotted 9 disc-shaped objects soaring effortlessly through the air. He described them as being around 50 feet in diameter, with a shiny silver, almost mirror-like exterior. He estimated that they were moving at speeds of between 60 and 70 miles per hour, and that they flew past his plane within just a few feet. Of course, such a sighting would quickly gain the attention of the media, who jumped at the chance to report on something so extraordinary. It wasn't long before these mysterious flying discs became known as UFOs, or unidentified flying objects. And the term UFO has stuck ever since. Arnold's original description of the craft has been lost over time. But by the time that these objects had hit the headlines, they were said to resemble pie plates or disc-shaped saucers. This was how the term UFO came to be. But although it makes sense in some ways, it also presents a number of problems. For one thing, if all of these objects are unidentified, then isn't it more accurate to refer to them as UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, instead? After all, not all flying objects are necessarily vehicles. But let's return to this image because it's got us thinking. Is it possible that this image shows real UFOs? Was Kenneth Arnold actually witnessing alien spaceships? Well, let's look at the facts. One of the first things that stands out about the photo is the apparent size of the object. The witnesses claimed that the flying discs were around 50 feet in diameter, which is roughly the length of a school bus. If that's true, then this would make them significantly larger than most UFOs that are reported today. More recently, most UFO sightings seem to involve much smaller objects that are said to resemble drones, but the size of UFOs may have changed over time. Alternatively, the witness may have misjudged the size of the object based on what he was expecting to see. In 1947, people weren't familiar with flying saucers or UFOs. So if something unusual appeared in the sky, they might have assumed that it was a new type of aircraft. Of course, we couldn't forget about the fact that this photo seems to show multiple UFOs flying in close proximity to one another. While it's true that many UFO sightings involve just one object, there are plenty of reports of multiple objects being seen at the same time. Could this be evidence that the objects are intelligently maneuvering in a coordinated fashion? That would certainly be an intriguing idea. But it doesn't necessarily mean that aliens are behind it. After all, we ourselves have flown multiple aircraft in formation for hundreds of years now. The biggest problem with this photo is that it lacks any sort of scale. We don't know how far away from the UFOs Arnold was when he took the picture. If they were much closer than he thought, that could explain why they look so large. But without more information, it's impossible to say for sure. In terms of the object's appearance, Arnold said that they looked like shiny silver saucers, while the photo shows gray disc-like objects. This discrepancy could be explained by the fact that the photo was likely taken in black and white. If that's the case, then it wouldn't have been possible for Arnold to see the true color of the objects. However, we don't know that the photo was definitely printed in black and white. So this argument is purely speculative. Another interesting point is that we don't know exactly what direction the objects were flying in. According to the news reports, Arnold said that he saw the objects flying in a specific direction. However, the original reports don't tell us which direction that was. The photo suggests that they were traveling from left to right, but that's not certain. Of course, we have to consider the possibility that this photo doesn't show UFOs at all. It could be that the objects seen in the sky are perfectly mundane. Perhaps they were balloons or some type of glider. Even military craft would be a reasonable explanation. After all, during the Second World War, all kinds of new flying vehicles were being developed. But it's difficult to imagine that if Arnold had seen military aircraft, he would have failed to recognize them as such. If this photo really does show UFOs, then it supports the idea that these objects have remained relatively unchanged for decades. But there's no denying that the lack of hard evidence leaves a lot of room for doubt. In the end, it's up to each individual person to decide what they believe. There's no concrete evidence that proves or disproves the existence of extraterrestrial life. And that's why sightings like this one continue to capture our imaginations. But what do you think? Is this a genuine UFO sighting? Or is there another explanation for what we're seeing here? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned for more videos like these. In the decades following Arnold's initial sighting, numerous other UFOs were spotted across the United States. Thousands of people reported seeing strange objects in the sky, and many of them even claimed to have taken photos. One of the most famous of these images is the so-called Kelly-Hopkinsville UFO photo. It was taken in 1955 and allegedly shows a large, bright object hovering over a farmhouse. However, like most UFO photos, it's been heavily debated, and there's no consensus on what it really is. Some believe it shows a UFO, while others say it's nothing more than a simple weather phenomenon. Despite the debate, the photo remains one of the most compelling images ever captured. There are also cases where UFOs have supposedly been captured on film by government agencies. In 1966, the United States Air Force reportedly took a series of photos of a UFO that was spotted over the Mexican border. The photos showed a strange object with a large round body and a set of smaller discs on either side. Again, there's no agreement on what the object really is, but it's certainly an interesting image. Some argue that if these images really do show UFOs, then it means that extraterrestrial life is more common than we think. If aliens are visiting our world, then it's likely that they've been here for many years. These photos would provide tangible proof of their presence and would revolutionize our understanding of the universe. Others, however, argue that if these images do show UFOs, then it means that there's something wrong with our world. If there are intelligent beings living among us that we can't see, then the world as we know it is in serious trouble. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Maybe there are UFOs out there, but they're not necessarily signs of an impending apocalypse. Instead, they could simply be evidence that there's more to the universe than we understand. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is for sure. The debate surrounding these images is unlikely to end anytime soon. As we wrap up this episode, it's important to remember that there is still so much that we do know about the universe. There are countless objects and phenomena that we can't explain, and that's what makes exploring space so exciting. Who knows what we might discover in the years to come? It's possible that one day we'll find concrete evidence of extraterrestrial life. When that day comes, it will be one of the most important moments in human history. Until then, we can continue to marvel at the wonders of the universe and wonder what's out there. So what do you think? Do you believe in UFOs? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to stay tuned for more videos like these. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on the topics we discuss, so make sure to join the conversation in the comments section. Until next time, keep an open mind and a curious heart. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.